Defend to the last man. With these words, Hitler entrusted SS-Brigadeführer Wilhelm Mohnke with the Reich's final defense in April 1945. As commander during the Battle of Berlin, Mohnke witnessed Hitler's final moments, participated in desperate escape attempts, and ultimately surrendered to Soviet forces. But what drove this fanatical loyalty? And how did a man accused of multiple war crimes manage to live quietly in West Germany until 2001? Wilhelm Mohnke was born in 1911 in Lübeck, the son of a cabinet maker. Like many Germans after the Great Depression, he lost his job and turned to radical politics. In 1931, at age 20, he joined both the Nazi Party and the SS. Unlike most SS officers, Mohnke came from a working-class background. Early SS assignments included guard duty at Nazi Party headquarters in Munich, where his reliability and imposing 6-foot frame caught the attention of superiors. By 1933, he was selected for the Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler, Hitler's personal bodyguard unit, placing him at the heart of Nazi power. Mohnke first saw combat during the invasion of Poland in 1939 as part of the Leibstandarte Regiment. He earned the Iron Cross Second Class for bravery, distinguishing himself in early battles. This campaign also exposed him to the brutal realities of Nazi racial policies, as his unit operated behind advancing German forces in occupied Poland. These experiences deepened his identification with the SS and its mission. By the end of the Polish campaign, Mohnke had risen to the rank of Hauptsturmführer as captain, a rising star in Hitler's elite unit fully committed to the cause. Mohnke's combat record during the early years of World War II was marked by both military success and disturbing allegations. In May 1940, his unit participated in the invasion of France as part of the Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler Division. During the Battle of Wormhout, elements under Mohnke's command were accused of executing approximately 80 British officers from the 48th Division. Captured soldiers were reportedly marched into a barn and killed with grenades and gunfire. Similarly, during the Normandy campaign in June 1944, his unit faced allegations of killing 35 Canadian prisoners at Fontenay-le-Pénal. Both incidents followed a pattern of battlefield brutality, involving prisoner executions during intense combat. Post-war investigations into these events failed to produce sufficient evidence for prosecution, leaving Mohnke's direct involvement unproven. These allegations, however, cast a shadow over his reputation, raising questions about his leadership and the psychological toll of his wartime experiences. The Balkans campaign in 1941 nearly ended Mohnke's military career. On April 6th, a Yugoslavian air attack severely wounded his right leg. Surgeons removed part of his foot, leaving him with a permanent limp and chronic pain. This injury forced him into a training role from March 1942 to May 1943, commanding the Leibstandarte's replacement battalion. During this period, he relied on pain medication, including morphine, to manage his condition. Mohnke returned to frontline duty in September 1943 as commander of the 26th SS Panzergrenadier Regiment in the 12th SS Panzer Division Hitlerjugend. Despite the allegations of war crimes, his career advanced steadily. The Nazi military culture prioritized battlefield results over ethical concerns, and Mohnke delivered operational successes. His promotion to SS Brigadeführer in January 1945 demonstrated Hitler's continued confidence in him, even as Germany's military situation deteriorated. By December 1944, Germany's military situation was dire. The Allies had reached Germany's western borders, while Soviet forces pressed in from the east. In a last-ditch effort, Hitler devised Operation Wacht am Rhein, a counter-offensive through the Ardennes forest aimed at splitting Allied forces and capturing Antwerp. The plan hinged on surprise, speed, and winter weather. Mohnke's SS Division Leibstandarte was tasked with leading the northern assault. Fuel shortages immediately crippled the operation. The Leibstandarte Division began with barely enough fuel for 100 miles of advance, relying on captured Allied fuel depots to continue. Joachim Peiper's Kampfgruppe briefly alleviated the crisis by seizing the Bullingen fuel dump on December 17th, but most other depots were destroyed by the retreating Americans. This forced German commanders into tough decisions about prioritizing units, slowing the advance to a crawl. The Ardennes terrain added to the chaos. Narrow, winding roads caused massive traffic jams among German columns, while poor weather initially grounded Allied aircraft. Clearing skies soon allowed devastating air attacks. American resistance stiffened after early breakthroughs, particularly at key road junctions. The Leibstandarte Division fell behind schedule within 2 days, failing to meet critical objectives. The Malmedy massacre by Peiper's unit worsened the situation. News of the execution of 84 American prisoners galvanized Allied troops, who fought with renewed determination. Allied commanders, alarmed by the atrocity, diverted additional resources to halt the German advance. Mohnke struggled to reorganize his forces amid these setbacks, and the offensive was faltering. By December 22nd, the operation had stalled. Mohnke's division became bogged down in heavy fighting near Stavelot and legacies. Reinforced American positions and dwindling German fuel reserves sealed the offensive's fate. On Christmas Day, Hitler authorized a withdrawal, ending hopes of reaching Antwerp. The Leibstandarte SS Adolf Hitler suffered devastating losses in men and equipment during the retreat. Despite the failure, Mohnke was promoted to SS-Brigadeführer in January 1945. This promotion, amid Germany's worsening situation, underscored Hitler's preference for loyalty over results. The failed offensive drained irreplaceable resources, leaving Germany weaker than ever. By April 1945, Soviet forces had reached Berlin's outskirts, and Hitler ordered the city's defense at all costs. Mohnke was tasked with defending the government district, known as the Citadel sector, which included the Reich Chancellery and Führerbunker. Although Hitler had named General Helmut Weidling as Berlin's overall defense commander, Mohnke operated outside his authority, answering directly to Hitler and focusing solely on defending the Chancellery and the Führerbunker. His Kampfgruppe Mohnke was a desperate patchwork of elite SS units, flak crews, and replacement personnel, reflecting the crumbling state of German defenses. The group's 2,000 men faced overwhelming Soviet artillery that relentlessly pounded the area from April 20th onward, reducing buildings to rubble and turning streets into craters. Defensive positions were hastily constructed from debris, but the sense of impending doom was inescapable. Since Mohnke operated outside the normal chain of command, this unusual arrangement deepened tensions between the SS and Wehrmacht leadership. As Soviet forces closed in, the psychological strain in the bunker grew unbearable. The Reichstag became a symbolic battleground, with Soviet troops determined to raise their flag over the shattered city. On April 27th, Hitler ordered Mohnke to oversee a military tribunal for SS-Gruppenführer Hermann Fegelein, Himmler's adjutant and Eva Braun's brother-in-law. Fegelein had abandoned the bunker without permission, a sign of the chaos engulfing the Nazi leadership. The tribunal, attended by generals Hans Krebs, Wilhelm Burgdorf, and Johann Rattenhuber, quickly unraveled when Fegelein, reportedly drunk, mocked the court's authority. Mohnke ended the proceedings, handing Fegelein over to Rattenhuber's security squad. The failed tribunal illustrated the collapse of discipline in the bunker's final days. Mohnke was present during Hitler's last hours on April 30th. After Hitler's death, he attended a conference where General Krebs announced plans for a breakout. Mohnke informed his sector's commanders of Hitler's death and organized escape groups. His own group, including Hitler's secretaries Traudl Junge and Gerda Christian, attempted to flee north but found their route blocked. They surfaced near the Schultheiss-Patzenhofer brewery, joining other refugees. On May 1st, Mohnke's group tried to escape through tunnels and subway lines but was forced above ground, where they faced heavy Soviet fire. Separated and overwhelmed, some took their own lives while others surrendered. Mohnke was captured by Soviet troops on May 2nd, the day Berlin fell. After his capture by Soviet forces on May 2nd, 1945, Mohnke endured 6 years of solitary confinement in Moscow's Lubyanka prison. The Soviets interrogated him extensively about Hitler's final days and the bunker's operations. Unlike many high-ranking Nazis who faced trial at Nuremberg, Mohnke remained in Soviet custody until 1955, when improving relations between West Germany and the Soviet Union led to the repatriation of thousands of German prisoners. Despite holding him for a decade, the Soviets never charged him with war crimes. Upon release, Mohnke returned to a transformed Germany. He settled near Barsbüttel, near Hamburg, and started a business selling small trucks and trailers. This quiet commercial venture marked a stark contrast to his former life as a high-ranking SS officer. While some former Nazis faced public scrutiny or prosecution, Mohnke avoided significant attention during the 1950s and 60s. His business provided financial stability and allowed him to live discreetly, a far cry from the militarized authority he once wielded. Allegations of war crimes periodically resurfaced. British authorities investigated his alleged role in the Wormhout massacre, where 80 British prisoners were killed in 1940. A German prosecutor reopened the case in 1988, but found insufficient evidence to bring charges. Mohnke consistently denied ordering prisoner executions, stating, "I issued no orders not to take English prisoners or to execute prisoners." Similar accusations regarding Canadian prisoners in Normandy also failed to result in prosecution. Efforts to hold him accountable, including campaigns by British MP Jeff Rooker in the 1980s, ultimately failed due to the passage of time, loss of evidence, and death of witnesses. Mohnke's post-war life reflected a deliberate retreat from public scrutiny. While he occasionally spoke with historians about Hitler's bunker, he avoided discussing his own controversial service. Unlike some former Nazis who sought to justify their actions through memoirs or interviews, Mohnke remained loyal to Hitler's memory without expressing remorse. His quiet existence until his death in 2001 at age 90 underscored the ironies of history, how figures like Mohnke, once central to a regime of violence, could fade into obscurity, leaving unresolved questions about justice and accountability. Well, that's it. Thanks for watching. We hope you found this video informative. If you enjoyed learning about today's topic, make sure to check out our other videos about German generals. Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to our channel, and hit the notification bell to stay updated on more World War II content. And we'll see you in the next one.